All right, sophomores, let's jump right in. So today we're learning about how to find answers to problems in the real world using unit rates. So let's see our problem. Brian and Shanice are both training for a bike race and want to compare who rides his or her bike at a faster rate. Trying to figure out who's faster. Both bikers use apps on their phones to record the time and distance of their bike rides. Brian's app, right there I saw time, distance. Brian's app keeps track of his route on a table. Got a table right here. And Shanice's app presents the information on a graph, right down here. The information is shown below. At what rate does each biker travel? Explain how you arrived at your answer. So to find rate, we need to start off with knowing what a ratio is for each biker, for how fast they go. What ratios do we know for Brian? That's right, so we know, when we're comparing miles per hour, should just do it like this. So we know for Brian, we know he can go 75 miles in 3 hours, and we know he can go 150 in 6. What ratios do we know for Shanice? Right, so for Shanice, we know that in 2 hours, let's create the same little table over here so we can compare them. In 2 hours, Shanice can go 30 miles, 32, and in 4 hours she can go 60. Okay, we really only need one ratio, but it's always good to have multiple. So now, we know those ratios. Now we've got to find a rate. We've got to find how fast Brian bikes. To do that, we've got to figure out how many miles he bikes per hour. How are we going to find out how many miles Brian bikes per hour? That's right, we're going to divide by 3. Same both sides, 75 divided by 3. How many miles does Brian bike per hour? That's right, 25. So Brian bikes 25 miles per hour. Please write better than I am. I'm writing this using my computer trackpad. It's not so good. Bikes 25 miles per hour. All right, now solve how fast Shanice rides her bike. So you could have done a bunch of ways, but when you're trying to find rate, it's always good to break it down to amount per 1. You're trying to find the unit rate in the rate unit. So amount per 1, going from 2 down to 1, you're basically just dividing by 2. So you can even look at it like this, just dividing by 2. 30 divided by 2 is 15. So we got S bikes 15 mph. Now, I want you to go ahead and on the computer when I ask, go ahead and explain how you found those answers. I want you to write out how you found how fast Brian travels and how fast Shanice travels. Do that now. So you should have written something like, I found the rate each biker travels by dividing to see how many miles they could ride in 1 hour. That would get you full credit. Now, if Brian bikes for 5 hours, how far does he bike? We already know Brian can bike 25 miles in 1 hour. So how far can Brian bike in 5 hours? So to figure this out, miles, hour, you do the table. I love the tables right now. Doing the tables all the time. We already know 25 in 1. We're trying to find out how many in 5. How do you get from 1 to 5? Times 5. Same thing on the other side, times 5. 5 times 25. Think about it like cents. 25 cents, 50, 75, 100 cents or a dollar, 125. So you're going to end up with 125 miles. Go ahead, finish the rest of the practice, and have a great Monday/Wednesday.